You cannot seem to get to me. I am back with a stolen identity. You know I see through anything. I'm a one-man army with a bitter sting. You give me no reasons. I'm broken to pieces. There's no one who can erase.
I think of a quote by Lenin, actually, no less. He once said, "It is true, freedom is so precious that it has to be carefully rationed." Lenin, and that's what they're doing in this place, believe it or not, exactly that, and that's what's happening all over the world right now, especially in the Western democracies. Freedom are being carefully rationed. Well, I will not go by that. That is not my motto. I prefer Albert Camus because I have decided, in order to deal with this unfree world, to defy this unfree world, I have decided to become so absolutely free that my very existence is an act of rebellion. And that's what we all need to do. So I will continue to fight, and I'm sure my colleagues will continue to fight the globalitarian elite. I am determined to do whatever it takes to bring them down. They have us to reckon with now, and that's why they hate us so much. Because we bother them, we are a nuisance, we're annoying them, and we are exposing whatever they're planning for us. Sometimes it's not that much fun to constantly being accused of, just about everything and anything, but we can at least say, however this pans out in the end, at least we will not stand accused by our grandchildren to having stood by in silence. We will not have to justify to our grandchildren why we were followers. It's not us. We're not followers. We're critical thinkers, and we will expose all of that. So we will not have to answer to our grandchildren why this happened. Again, I might add, again, they haven't learned anything. But, and I'm convinced of that small, fringe minority, it is so huge. Like I said, it's billions and billions of people around the globe. So, the gaslighting, the psychological abuse, none of this will actually happen. And if I've come to realize one thing in these past 3 years, it is this. I'm an elected representative of the people, by the people, for the people. I represent your best interests. But I've come to realize my most important job actually is to break the psychological abuse, because this psychological abuse only works if there is no contradicting voices. So I have come to realize my most important job, to serve in the best interest of the people, is to actually use my voice to break the psychological abuse, expose their lies, and give the people validation. That's what they needed, and that's what they needed to actually stand up, take to the streets, and fight this. So this is my promise to you, I will always be that voice that will break their despicable psychological abuse pattern. They are criminals and they belong behind bars. That's where they need to go.
Hey guys, how you doing? Hey, yeah, we're here right now. Just finished our appointment and just relaxing. Got some stuff to talk about today. You know, you guys hit the like button, subscribe. You know, things are going on right now. 2024 is about to start. You know, new resolution, new solutions, new things, you know, going on. Getting ready for that tax season. You know, it's gonna be tough, but you know, we gotta make it happen. Yeah. So this week been going good. I've been putting some points on the board. Yeah. I don't really got much to say though, but I'm starting to like study the difference between public and private, and basically understanding that more is that when you have a business, you need to know, because the tax season is coming up too, you need to be able to distinguish public from private, and that's something that a lot of people don't understand is private and public. If you're using that Social Security, you're public. That's public because that's owned by the Federal Reserve, the United States territory, Washington D.C., District of Columbia. So you got to look at that and understand that. But if you're private and you're working using a corporation and you have your name out of everything, and the only place that you have your name is you're not using your Social Security, you're using your EIN number for your business, and everything is under your business name. That way you tend to be more protective. If something happens against you, someone tries to sue you, somebody tries to take you to court, you have a more protection because you're using your corporation, because a corporation is a person. So you go into court and you say, I am here representing the corporation, you see. And it's also good for building and purchasing merchandises and vehicles, and if you're going into real estate, you know. Also setting up a trust is something that you should look into. Putting your corporation into a trust, that really works out. So it's a long process, but the first thing that you need to do is start your LLC, limited liability company. Now, a limited liability company could be a corporation, or you know, you could be something else. So you see right there. So what you want to do is that you want to set that up. Then, when you set that up, you want to take it to the Secretary of State. And then they're going to give you your ID. You know, give you your number. And then from there, you can take that, and then the best advice is to put a bill under there so you can build credit for that. You can build credit for that company, like, because it's a person also, it's an individual. So you're working under that, and you're using that, because one of the ways to survive in LA is having your own business. Because if you're an employee and you got all that taxes being taken out of your W-2 paycheck every week, you're not gonna make it, you know. And then, the good thing about corporation is that you're always, having expenses. You always need to spend money. You can't do a 1099 and then go be a W-2, perform as an employee, and then you don't have no expense, no growth, and then you're just bringing in record monies. You need to be able to spend money. You need to have to expense because, one of the reasons you're doing a corporation is to stimulate the economy and create jobs. So they want to see you grow, you see? So that's one of the things you've got to grow. And growing is just the beginning. So I have a lot of expense. I have car expense. I have purchase of merchandise expense. I have a lot of expense. So, and the list goes on and on. And utility expense, operation expense, what's it called? Amortization, depreciation. You got also gas and mileage. You got uniform. All these operations come in to play, and there you're able to at least have some leverage against your profits and maybe have a return. Maybe. You never know. So that's just how it is right here. And another advice is to get a CPA. But if you can do your own taxes, I can do my own taxes, but the problem is that the IRS is always just no good and always saying something, or adjusting what I make. I don't know what they did last year. I'm still talking to them, trying to find out why they did what they did on my tax return. But remember, if you're gonna go corporate, if you're gonna work for yourself, you gotta make sure. And living in LA, you might have to work in the job. You gotta make sure that you're not making more as an employee than you are in your corporation, because it could be a problem. You gotta make sure that you're making more in your corporation. And if you're gonna go work for somebody, ask them, can I be a 1099? Can I work as a vendor, a contractor? You could ask them, and they might be like, okay, yeah, you can, no problem. But sometimes they might reject you. That means that you just gotta go look for another place. You could ask them over the phone before you go in for an interview and get hired. Because if you're starting to start your own business, you're trying to write off all expenses, all purchases of equipment and everything. And then get yourself a good credit card. Get yourself a couple of credit cards, pay them off, pay everything off before the end of the month. If you have to leave a balance, make sure it's a low balance. Make sure it's lower than 25% or 5%. But make sure you pay everything off. Times are tough right now with all this stuff. Registration fee. All these membership fees, MLS fees, board fees, association fees. They're a lot, and it just piles up, barred on top of everything. So, it's just like that. So you gotta be careful, when you're doing this, because one of the best ways to make it in LA is to start your own business. You gotta shoot for the stars. You cannot make it in LA being an employee, except you're getting paid really good, making more than 6 figures. Even that, because as we see right now, you see they're still using $40,000 as medium income. Who's living on $40,000? Homeless people make $40,000 just panhandling on the street, and they're still homeless. $40,000 is 1975, 1960. Middle class is $150,000 a year. That's middle class. Upper class is $150,000 to $200,000. Okay. okay? And if you're anywhere in that class within 20,000 to 120,000, you're gonna have to group up with a buddy. You know, you need to get married or get a partner in crime.
Cut of $2 trillion, increasing the national debt $2 trillion. It didn't meet virtually any of the predictions it would in terms of growing the economy. Overwhelmingly, the benefits of that tax package went to the wealthiest Americans. It was bad for American competitors, deeply unfair to the middle-class families, and wrong for our future.
Larry, is any of this true?
No, there's not a single factoid in that statement. The tax cuts were the biggest benefits, the increase in middle income wages and family income and blue collar workers, and the increase in lower middle income. In fact, Laura, it's the bottom 25 percentile of the income scale that absolutely did the best, not the top in terms of wealth and wages and incomes. They did the best performance probably since the year 2000. Now look, President Trump issued a statement today. I just want to read it because he hits on a main factor here. President Trump says that Biden's radical plan to implement the largest tax hike in American history is a massive giveaway to China. Now, what President Trump is saying here is that raising our corporate tax rate to 28% from 21, and you got to add 5 points from the states, that's 33. China is 25%. We're also slapping on a 21% minimum tax for overseas income, a 15% minimum tax here at home, and a doubling of the capital gains tax, where the integration of the corporate tax actually would raise it to almost 70%. So what do you have? You have a war against investment, which means a war against new business starts and technology advances, a war against productivity, and a war against wages for the middle income people. Mind you, you like to have good, solid wages. But in order to have good, solid wages, you have to have a successful business. And this plan is going to tax successful businesses to death. It punishes success, not rewards it. And it's just the absolute wrong direction.
Because you guys have to bring both incomes together. Because after you have kids, paying the mortgage, the home association fee, paying the taxes, and all the other assessments that go with it, you're going to be broke. There's a lot of people that have homes, but they're broke. But there's a lot of people that bought homes at a good time. They're only paying $1,500 a month. And they got a nice house with 4 bedrooms that look really good because they bought it before 2020. So they're really doing good. You know? Yeah, so that's how you look at it. But I'm just going all over the place though. But one of the best ways to make it in LA is to start a corporation. Start an LLC. You know, a limited liability company. And that way build a trust and then go from there. It's really one of the ways to make it here in LA County, you know what I mean? Because it's really hard. The cost of everything has gone up tremendously. I mean, a container of mayo costs $8. Okay, water gallon, the Arrowhead or sparkling water is $7. I've just rounded everything up. You know, the honey, you know, egg, $7. Everything is up there. It's $5 and up. I went to go get a granola bar. That stuff was $9 for the granola bar package. You know, the one I like. I was like, what? That stuff went from $4 to $9. It's insane. They're just these corporations are just taking advantage of this fake inflation, you know, and just using it against us and saying, oh, it's inflation, oh, it's because we don't have enough production, which is a lie, a serious lie, you know what I mean? So, it just goes on, you know, and I'm going to tell you something, when people drive so fast, where are they going? Am I driving slow? Okay. Man, people are just stepping on the gas, man. It's like nobody does 60 no more. And people you gotta make sure that you have everything together. And you gotta make sure you get a good career, get that licenses, get those insurance and bonds and everything for backup. Make sure you have that available for you, and that way you can do better for yourself. Because being an employee, it sucks. They take all your taxes. They take all your income. So stay strong, live long, and perform on your own. My family, members, they started. My mom, yeah, she pushed for it. Starting being an entrepreneur, starting her own business. She had a daycare business, a fish business, and then medical supply business. And then real estate overseas. So, which she inherits from her grandparents. So, you need a business if you want to make it. It really counts. I was just speaking to this woman. Her family member just bought the UPS that I go to get stuff notarized. My documents notarized. So they just bought it because I was like, wow, everything looks different. Like, where's all the old employees? She's like, oh, we just bought it last month. I was like, oh, really? So people are making power moves, especially in the real estate game. People are buying stuff on the Airbnb. It's crazy out here. All right, guys, it's nice talking to you guys. Have a good day and keep it moving, keep it pushing. Get ready for 2024. Got more videos coming out for the end of the year. All right, take care. Have a good Thanksgiving if you don't hear from me.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Where you start, read the Constitution. But the police don't have no duty to protect you. I have a lot of respect for the law. Peace to the gods, peace. Peace to the gods, peace to the gods. Another episode of Yusufel. Been monitoring my website, my Facebook group, SBC University, and I'm getting a lot of questions in there. And there was this one question that always seems to pop up, and it's a couple of things. People saying, has anybody had any success with secured party creditor? Has anybody had any success with secured party creditor? And then somebody else said, there's no such thing as secured party creditor, it's only a secured party. And these are the things that people like to point out when they don't know shit. It's like, just pointing out it's a secured party. All you gotta do is look at it. First of all, just look at the UCC1. It says secured party, you have a creditor and a debtor. The secured party can be nothing but the creditor. Okay? That's why he's called the secured party. He's the creditor. So, I wish we would stop saying that. Because that's ridiculous. So hopefully we've taken care of that. Just look at a UCC. What is a secured party? Okay. Allegedly, this whole thing with, the banking, how this discharge debt and everything was created by, obviously, Jewish bankers or something to that effect. I don't know for sure, but allegedly that's what it was. And it was a result of them taking the money out of circulation in 1933. Okay, now if anybody stops and thinks for a second, you'll understand that when they took gold and silver away, the only way value could be derived in a system where no money is by having an interest in things. An interest in things. Which is a security interest. Alright, so the UCC became adopted and came about from the fact that there was no money any longer circulating as a medium of exchange within the United States. And money consisted of gold and silver, or certificates that are redeemable in gold and silver. And this is pursuant to the Constitution of the United States of America, the Gold Clause. So this is what we mean when we say money. When we say there is no money, we're saying there's no constitutionally mandated money for the payment of debts as outlined in the Constitution of the United States of America. All right? The Gold Clause. That's what we're talking about. HER 192 has not been rescinded. That's something else. Please stop saying HER 192 has been rescinded. It is Title 31 USC 5118. That's where HER 192, the rescission of the Gold Clause, has been codified. So it's in the code section. And then you're talking about it's been rescinded. If it's been rescinded, then you see these are Federal Reserve notes. You still got a central bank called the Federal Reserve. It's just ridiculous.